So, friends and colleagues, hope everybody is on board. And now we can move on. So, once again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Adelina Sabur. Today, I'm happy to demonstrate an innovative product in the world of eyebrow specialists, and this is Bronson Cream. This color combines not only beautiful and durable coloring, but also care for the eyebrows, which is inside the procedure. It is this color cream currently purchased by all the specialists all over the world. This color specially designed to be used in the procedure for the lamination of eyelashes and eyebrows perm. Due to the care components, this procedure appears to be not only beautiful and careful, but also avoids all darkening with the perm. This is very new, luxurious white palette of shades. That is 7 colors, totally different from each other. That allows you to create dozens of bright and original mixes. We understand that our customers and our specialists love these colors due to the intense skin tones. All that is provided by the fantastic durability 7 days on skin and up to 7 weeks on hair. And the most interesting, this is creamy consistency, and this is exactly what I'm demonstrating now. So this is crazy convenient to work. So what goes in the cream care? First is hydrolyzed keratin that restores the structure of the hair, provides the smoothness and silkiness. Next component is hydrolyzed silk, which moisturizes, softens, strengthens, nourishes, and makes hair shine. And last but not least, vitamin E. As far as you know, vitamin E dramatically stimulates growth of the eyebrows and eyelashes. As I said before, our palette includes 7 absolutely unique shades, which allow to create any coloring for any customer. Let's dive deeper into these colors. So the first beauty, black beauty, black beauty. Black color allows to make very bright coloration of the eyelashes. And if you are the eyelashes specialist, you should have this beauty on board. It should be with you. Next. Next is Misan Black. That will be available shortly. So we are specialists in eyelashes. So it's important to have 2 colors in the case, black and Misan Black. Black gives a standard black coloration, but Misan Black gives blue black shade, blue black. For example, many of clients of mine, blondie girls with fair hair, they love this beautiful bluish sparkling on the hair. So, and if your client likes it, so you can take blue black from Bronson, black tinted with blue. Graphite. This is pretty cold color, and this is cold toned, purple based, preferable in mixes to provide colder shade on the skin and on the hair. I can use it predominantly in mixes, so I highly recommend it to have it in the case. Chestnut. Hope you can see it clearly. That's warm undertone, red based. You need it in opposite providing warmer coloration of the skin. It can happen that you look at the client and you see that this is red based tone, so chestnut is great to give deeper and richer warm color, and then it will be a good harmony with the hair on the head. Chestnut could be used as a pure, and you can use it in a mix. Light brown. This is shade number 5. That's ideal by itself. So this is yellow base. It can be used again in a pure form, and also you can combine it perfectly with blonde, with ashy blonde. Let's say to myself, I took number 5 pure, and that would be very organic coloration to my own color. Also, it looks very nice with blonde, ashy blonde, dark blonde hair. It's universal, fantastic color, very rich color. Brown. This is neutral, closer to warmish, and it could easily be used for more graphic coloration in mixes. For example, I really like high intense. I love mixing number 5 and number 6, light brown with brown to get more or less neutral dark based coloration. But at the same time, I want to have a good footprint on the skin. Next one, dark brown color. This is one of my favorite. This is one of my beauties as well. And I will give you some tip in advance. I'm going to use this color today. Now, a few words about it. This is cold tone, violet based with high intensity. What's the advantage here? Very frequently, dark haired girls, they are looking for cold eyebrows, not for warm eyebrows. And there is nothing more beautiful than this cold natural color by itself. I liked it, and Bronson actually made my dream true. So they established this dark brown number 7, exactly to use it for brunettes when pure, and also can be used in mixes for cool down shades. What is important to know, this color also could be used in a pure shape and also could mixed with a cooling down and brighter shadows. Another very big advantage of Bronson cream. So if you are using gel cream, then you know our beloved story, which is a milk. This is oxidant milk from Bronson, 3%. It can be used both with a cream and with a gel. That means for two types of colors, we can use the same oxidant. You are saving your resources. And at the same time, this is absolutely universal. It gives very cool shadow and very dense coloration. Also, if you wanna, let's say, remove a little bit, well, sometimes it happens, then in this case, this solution could be absolutely universal. So this is beloved Bronson remover, which is very similar to oxidant, but also in the red color. That's the product that's designed to remove the color from the skin. For example, if your client wants to remove a little bit at the lateral part or to remove part of the color along the whole eyebrow, so the best thing to use is Bronson remover. And in our presentation, we have some great examples of how I'm making the eyebrows using these shades. Well, hopefully you will fall in love with these colors immediately. So beautiful, very velvet, graphic, bright coloration, which is given by Bronson cream. But it's very important. You can make it very natural, and on the other hand, you can make it graphically bright. So it all depends on how much is the exposure time on the skin. I recommend for the natural effect to keep on 5 to 7 minutes, but for very bright graphic 10 to 15 minutes. And now I'm coming to the Q&A. The first question: are you doing the mapping? I working with and without mapping. What is important that you can use the color cream with and without mapping. I will show you how I'm working without the mapping, and hopefully for our masters and coaches it will be interesting. And if you do the mapping, you can test how to work without it, and you can get acquainted. Could it give the greenish color? We know that Bronson gel cream, color cream, is based on green, so we color it with gel. And normally it's violet blue, and you will not have greenish colors. So these are very different bases. So you can give it neutral, you can give it cold, but it could be violet cold. Another question: what are your beloved shades of color cream? Well, my most popular are, I will show it now. Number 5, number 3, number 6, number 7. It is important to know these are the most popular shades that I'm using on the eyebrow. Forget that I'm also performing the eyelashes lamination. So black color is also in my case, specifically for the eyelashes. If you the eyebrow master, you can use this additional service just for the eyelashes coloration. So that's ideal color. Another question: how to avoid over darkening? Well, the plus of the color cream is that it is not providing the dramatic overdarkening. That's the innovation, that's the plus. But if you be on a safe side, if you want to be on a safe side, there are two things how to avoid overdarkening. First, when you put the color cream on, so you can use just the standard eyebrow brush. You can just comb it out, and then the tone would be lighter. The second option is to use Botox from Bronson for the eyebrows, for example, before the coloration. Then Botox would get into the hair and will push out the color cream to avoid overdarkening. Another question, very good question. Could we see the dry skin after all, after the using of color cream? The answer is no, definitely no. It is beautiful product for the care. In the theoretical part, I already mentioned that Bronson includes hydrolyzed keratin, hydrolyzed silk, vitamin E, and due to these components, the skin and the hair not only dried but hydrolyzed and moisturized. So now you can provide eyebrow coloration as a care procedure as well. So, giving the answer to your question, my answer is very short. No, no drying. So, next question we have received from you. Is it easy to put the color cream on? Yes, yes, of course, dear. It's extremely comfortable and convenient to work with color cream. First of all, this is very homogeneous consistency of the color cream that provides the opportunity for very homogeneous distribution all over the skin. Then second, color cream nicely puts on both on a dry skin, oily skin, so any type of skin. And in the demo version on the model, I will show it to you and you will see how pleasant it is to work with this product. That is why the product is highly preferable and selected by the masses all over the world. So, right now, we take a very short technical break to prepare the model and then we proceed. Thank you very much for your attention, for connection to us. Stay with us. See you in 5 minutes. So, dear friends, we are back on air. So, that's our beautiful model. You can see here, here she is, and I will show you what I'm going to use. First, we should prepare the skin for the eyebrow coloration. Please don't forget, skin preparation, skin treatment is very important. If you do it wrong way, then your coloration would not be as effective as it could be. So the first thing, cleansing of the eyebrows. In order to get good cleansing, we use Miami foam, lash foam cleanser. That's ideal foam for the eyebrow cleansing. I use it if my client is using decorative cosmetics or not, no matter. So I take the cotton pad, I take the brush, eyebrow brush, and I start distributing along the eyebrow of the client very cautiously distributing. Avoid rubbing because the film will do it all for you. So, no traumatization of the skin. Next, we take it away, we remove it with a water wet cotton pad. So, decorative cosmetics gone and also all contamination. So, we should not forget that the eyebrows, they do exist on the face for the protection. And the same is done on the contralateral side. Very clean, very good. Good. Well done. So some residuals are removed. Now, final preparation of the skin. So skin should be properly pre-treated. It should be oil-free, oil-free. So Bronson has two fantastic products that are performing this function. It is important that they meet different types of skin. So if your client have sort of oily or greasy skin, so it's better use salt-based solution, saline solution. Saline solution. If it's normal skin, then we use primer, degreaser. Here it is, eyebrow primer from Bronson. So my model has skin which is prone to oily. That's why I will use the primer. So using it like a spray, I take cotton pad, couple of puffs, and then with this cotton pad with primer on top, I'm moving along the eyebrows. So if there is any deformation, I would take saline. What's the difference? Primer is alcohol based, so it provides better anti-oily effect, and saline is alcohol free. So we're doing some combing. Then I will start from the left eyebrow, from this side, and now you can appreciate that I have fantastic black-haired lady with brown eyes. So what I want here is very desirable, bright black coloration. So please recollect what I told you before. So we have color number seven, which I'm successfully using in a pure form in a very bright girl. So this is Bronson number seven, dark brown. Universal, very cool shade. And this is exactly what we're going to use together with our beloved Bronson oxidant. Let me show you the ratio, how we are mixing the color cream with oxidant. So, speaking in the numbers, so this is 1 to 1. The color and the oxidant, the same amount, 1 to 1. Ratio is 1 to 1. So I'm showing now ratio 1 to 1. So we selected color number seven. And here in my glass, you can appreciate there is a little bit more of antioxidant here, but in fact, it is more fluidic. As soon as I press it out, so that's 1 to 1 with the amount. Now we are mixing. So 10 seconds. You see how fast it's going. And then look at the consistency. Please appreciate the consistency. No lumpy, no dumpy. Luxurious color. Very homogeneous. Just fantastic. So we mix it over very homogeneously, very organic mix. No any specific pieces. Voila. That's the color. No extra clots. No clumps. Well, what sort of brush I'm going to take? I will take the brush from Innovator Cosmetics. Here it is. White with a beveled edge. Fantastic to work. So this is a very good and very dense lint that gives very good coloring when you put the color on. So now the juiciest part. In order to put on the color, we should take the lowest row where it goes very dense, where the hair goes very dense. So in the model, you can see it very clearly. So I start with a very thin layer, very cautiously putting the color on. So I step away for a while from the brow root. Why do I do it? Because at the very end, over there, the coloration will be milder in that lateral part. So very mild, very tender movements. I don't put a lot on the brush, so I will show you how much. So that's my amount. That's my amount. Just a little bit. That's my amount. And I'm working in this layer. Color cream doesn't like very thick layers. So we are working in a very thin, very precise layers. So I'm stretching a bit because if I see that there is a little bit of bump, so I'm just pulling it up, pulling it up. So we move on. So if somehow your color is beyond the line, let's say something goes lower, then you use the sticks or you can wooden sticks. So I'm using these cotton swabs. So this is how we remove. So now I put the color directly to the tail of the brow. So I can use both cotton swabs or wooden sticks with a cotton tip. Please appreciate how thin the layer is. So my layer is truly very thin. What's the advantage of the color cream bronson? You can appreciate that I'm working with non-transparent consistency. So the color has a little shade. So I can easily see what and how I'm putting on. So it's convenient to work without mapping, even without mapping. So no matter what your technique is, with this color cream, it would be convenient in any way. Super. Just have a look. 1 minute passed. Just 1 minute. Just one minute, 1.5. So and I completed half the brow. Now we come down to see the upper layer very clearly. This is how you do it. The same brush, a little bit of color, and then I'm very close to the apex. That's the tip of the eyebrow. And then with the rip of the brush, I pull the color down. I'm pulling the color down. And now, to avoid volumization, we can correct it this way. Great. Next, the upper layer should go in parallel with the lower layer. Both borders go along in parallel. So we pull the upper line. So if my client prefers the wider brow, I try to convince to increase maximum by 2 millimeters, not very high, only in case of the perm. Please appreciate, I pull up the root of the eyebrow. Then it's more convenient to clean it up. So one movement, then I put it down, and my second movement. Very good. Well, you definitely see how convenient this color cream in the process. Easy to move, easy to use. A little bit of more dense. denser line. And if I see any bump, any clot, or too much, or the clump, so I immediately homogeneously distribute these areas to avoid any bumps. So it's very convenient to do it with a brush. Bronson color cream is ideal for the newcomers and for the mature specialists, eyebrow specialists, because our primary thin layer is very nicely fixed. So I put on the second layer, again very, very thin. So I take the fresh color cream and I put it on top to be on a safe side, to double check, to double check. But if somehow you remove the color, and it happens sometimes that the client has either very dry skin or extremely oily skin, or there was some deformity on the skin, and you need better coloration. So after the removal of the second layer, so no worries, it is allowed and you can do it. So that's the way. So the first eyebrow is almost done. Now we are waiting for the cream color to work. What is important to know? If you are a newcomer and it takes time, so no worries, no worries, because very mature specialists, they're not in a hurry. And if your color cream is too dark here, then you can be double check and to mix it on the second part. So once again, I'm remixing, and my second eyebrow would be properly colored. So, so this is very cost efficient. So it takes, well, to me, the first batch was enough for 60, 70 clients, 6070. So that's one tube. That's one tube. So I'm remixing now the same proportion. Well, honestly speaking, if I put it on too fast, then I try to remix it again just to be on a safe side because you can always be sure that you have the same color, absolutely the same color, because any dye has its own cycle of oxidation. So even if you work longer, so the color could be a little bit different. So that's my life hack. Make a new mix for each eyebrow from the beginning. Well, it's already quite a time past. Now we can go to the beginning, to the root of the eyebrow, and I will take it water wet cotton swab. So I move the residual of the cream dye to the top with these movements, a little bit of wash out. Why? Because many clients prefer not to have a very bright footprint here to avoid any discomfort. So I remove the beginning, the root of the eyebrow within 1 minute, 1.5, as soon as I complete the procedure. Now we move to the contralateral side. Again, just 2 moments. I mix the shades and I move to the second one. So, the same way, I put it on and I stretch. I remind you, no slots, no bumps. If we see something like clump or clot, we just stretch it, we move it, we remove it. Okay? When you work with a client, please move around because from different views, the eyebrow could look very different. Please don't be in a hurry. Very good. When I go beyond, I immediately take my cotton swabs, my helpers, pushing out completely. Put a timer. That's the best case, and you will always be on the safe side. So if this is graphic coloration, so this is 10 to 15 minutes. If it's more natural one, then 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the desire of the client. What I like is more graphic and brighter things. So in my case, when I do it to myself, I always keep longer. So some hairs grow down. You see, I correct their direction with the brush because if it goes to the side, so if it's too licky, so I move them up, and then in this case, have a good opportunity to have more footprints without slicking back. So I'm trying to make it visible. So when I look here, I look over the longer side towards the nose. Very good. So we are processing the lower part. So please try to make very clear lines. So we should avoid any shadows here. So you can use Bronson remover. So we are processing the upper part. So we are trying to remove the first eyebrow. So we correct the first one and we remove it. So we take the cotton swab and the same way going up, we start combing. So we see very beautiful, very cold shade. Looks like a natural eyebrow of the model, but this is our art and our magic. So we process with the second. So a little bit left. So we can clean it up. So the same tools. Very good. So here it's very convenient to train both beginners and already mature specialists, senior specialists. So both love it because that's one of the dyes that does not give any complications, no adverse events, no side effects. Please appreciate I use minimum amount of additional tools and the color itself puts on very nicely, easy to remove. So that gives me a truly bright result and very comfortable processing. So that's very good. So that's the second layer. So we redistribute a little bit. So I put on a little bit of fresh. So I finally clean it up. So Here we see quite emotional eyebrows in my client, so she actively uses them mimically. So we don't need 100% symmetry here because we always see that eyebrows are symmetrical. One is higher. So we'll remove the first one and let's see what will happen. So you see, it gave us everything, the full color. Now it's not so transparent because the working one is glowing. So you see it's more wet, let's say, more bright. But here it's, let's say, without luster, more dried, more dead. So I always recommend to keep on tips a bit longer. Why? Because at the end of the eyebrow, we have fewer hairs, not enough. So, to provide maximum bright coloration there, we can keep a little bit longer. Hopefully, you can already appreciate this beauty. So, no bluish color, no, no greenish color, no bluish color. So, it is like designed specifically for the clients. That's why I truly adore this color and I highly recommend it to everyone. So, pure number seven. Speaking about the types and colors of the clients, well, who could be recommended this color? So, brunette, dark blonde, brown hair, all girls with very bright appearance, where we have plump lips, brown eyes, and also bright hair. Wait for 2 more minutes and we remove. The first one is stabilized. Please don't forget. It has its cycle of stabilization. Within first 5 minutes, it finally reaches the proper shade. Now, I wash the root of the second eyebrow, so the same way, water wet cotton swab, and I'm pulling up cautiously, cautiously. Now we can complete with the first eyebrow. I take the cotton pad, I move to the side, to the opposite side. Please never rub to avoid any unpleasant sensations and feelings. So you have to be very delicate. So we remove without any extra pieces of the dye. Nothing should be from the dye except the shade. So if somehow it is not clear to you whether you removed everything or not, please use the brush to comb. Going downwards, upwards, nothing is left. What we have, a truly beautiful coloration. Also, if needed, you can also get some shaping or styling. If you love the style of perm, that's Miami soap, but we'll do it at the very end. Let's wait for the second to wash up. So, in the client, you see different beginnings of two eyebrows. So, more hairs here and fewer hairs here. So, we will try to harmonize the situation a little bit because what I want is to remove a little bit from here. Let's immediately recollect what we used to remove, and this is Bronson remover. On the one hand, you put the swab into the remover, the other side into the water, tap water. So first remover, and then cover with water. You see a little bit of grayish color, so that's the color, that's the extra color we wanted to remove. We move to the second one and we remove it a little bit earlier. So a little bit earlier. And within a couple of minutes, we remove all of it. So the questions about the greenish undertone. So nothing similar to that. So that's very cold and beautiful color, which is given by Bronson cream dye. Truly bright results. So we could easily recollect how it looked like just after the removal. And it was a little bit lighter. So the specialist may think, oh, it looks a bit lighter. Please wait for the stabilization of the shade. And then that would be luxurious velvet coloration. Let's wait. Let's wait for proper timing. Well, you just like me, you almost forgot how it looked like before because it really meets the face and the appearance of our beautiful model. I already mentioned Botox, but I didn't show how to use it. So there was one of the questions in the theoretical part, how can we avoid over darkening? And I recommended you two options here. And the second one was Botox to make it to use it before the using the cream dye. I love Botox protein. So that's luxurious tool to moisturize and provide hydration of the hair and helps to avoid over darkening. So just a little bit more and we remove. So for the first minutes, it could be undesirable undertone. I think every specialist faced that. So I recommend you to have in your portfolio to have the conditioner for other eyebrows from Bronson. Eyebrow conditioner. This is how it looks like. So you put it on the eyebrow. Let me show just a second. You put it on the eyebrow. So this is creamy consistence. So you put it on. Please don't hold for a while. You can, but it's not needed. And then you remove with the water wet cotton swab. If somehow, because our eyebrow is almost complete, but if somehow you see some negative shade which you don't prefer, then conditioner would easily remove it. So I strongly recommend to have conditioner, eyebrow conditioner from Bronson. So if your client is in a hurry, so you have no time for the dye stabilization, so please use conditioner in this case. And then that would be faster action of the dye. So the conditioner does not remove the color, but removes the unpleasant, unfavorable, undesirable shades and stabilizes the color beautifully. So let's remove the second one. It's high time to remove the second one. So if my client wants very natural coloration, that number 6 would be also perfect here, which is brown. Please remove properly, and then we give time for the color to stabilize. Very good, very good. So the color is getting better. We can witness it. So let's try to make a little bit of styling. Again, I remind you, using Miami soap and the brush. So a little bit of water into the soap, just a little bit of water like this. I use these movements to put on soap on the brush. Next. We comb down the hairs first, cautiously, without rubbing, very precisely combing down. Don't overpress. That's not preferable for the client to avoid unpleasant sensations. And then we slick back to the proper direction. What is the advantage of the soap? Very nice odor, nice fixation, no unpleasant colors. So this is color free, absolutely color free. I know that many alternatives they have some shades, very easy and convenient to use. So this way and more natural. So that's perm effect that can be guaranteed. So the contralateral side, the same approach. I add on some amount, if not enough. And by the way, this is gorgeous, gorgeous amount of the soap. I procure it for myself at home for my own styling of the eyebrows. So if it's too much, then you remove with a swab. Good. This way. So I will correct it. So we are lacking hairs a little bit here. So there is a bit more shadow on the skin than on the hair in this specific location. But the dye worked perfectly. So depending on the requests of the client, because some clients they prefer the soap, some they don't. So it all depends. It all depends on the client making the styling with the soap. So easy to remove excessive soap with swab, with water wet cotton swab. It looks like that's it. And I'm happy to demonstrate our final result. And then we move back to Q&A. So our model is moving closer. Looks fantastic. So if you don't like glowing effect, then you can keep without fixation on top. Now, we are happy to move back to Q&A, and we can let our model go, and we move back to Q&A session. So now I'm coming to the camera. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening once again. And now let us try to answer all your questions. And we have many. We have received many questions here. So first, what's the difference of gel and cream dyes? They are different consistencies, that's first. And they are working in different techniques. So with gel, you work with layers. First, you make very thin primary layer, then secondary layer on top. But with color cream, you can use with one layer only. Then the consistency itself, it's different. It's different. And for the special, it's more preferable to master both gel and the palette. The palette is different. And we know that Bronson gel that gives us warmer colors or greenish base by Bronson cream gives us violet base and yellowish and reddish base as well. So that means it's a chance to try all types of skin and hair. So I always recommend specialists to master both gel dye and cream dye. Also, I always recommend to use gel to more oily skin, but reserve cream dye mainly for dry skin because it was processed better this type of skin. Next question. What is the best for the beginner, gel or cream color? Well, I think for the first step, the cream dye would be easier to use, but then please procure the gel base because that covers the other categories of clients. For example, with oily or greasy skin, or those who prefer warmer eyebrows or greenish or olive base. What shades of cream dye could be preferable for the beginning? What to take first? Well, I will show. I will show now. Specifically for the brows, I recommend, just a second, I will take number 7 from the table because I want to show at the same time. So I highly recommend you to take number 5, which is light brown, delicate and natural light brown, number 5. Number 6, brown, expressive and effective, number 6, brown. Number 7, dark brown, noble and exquisite. Number 7, dark brown. And number 3, graphite, which is harmonious and well balanced. Number 3, graphite. If your clients prefer red base to make the eyebrows warmer with a little bit of reddish sparkling, then in this case, number 4, chestnut, would be very preferable for soft and expressive warmer tone. Which shade could be preferred for the eyelashes? Well, that's our headliner. That's number 1, which is black. Dream of your eyelashes. And very soon we are expecting the raven black or blue black, and I recommend to procure when it's available. Well, black color gives a very standard cool undertone, so very black. But let's say blue black or raven black would give a little bit of bluish color, so cool undertone, and then you can use different colors of mascara. So it would be black, but there would be bluish sparklings in the sunlight, and many blondies they prefer this raven black because black is a standard raven black, well, for the lovers. Can we make natural coloration using cream dye? Of course, no doubt. Well, cream dye can do whatever you like, but today we appreciated more natural coloration itself, as probably you appreciated the model. The model is not using very bright decorative cosmetics. She's very romantic. She's very light. Well, these clients they prefer more natural eyebrows, but then the exposure time should be shorter. Not 10, 15, 20 minutes, but let's say 7 to 8 minutes of exposure time. So that means the depth of color, the depth of skin tone is dependent on your coloristics, because if the client wants something natural, take something lighter. And I already said before that if my models prefers even lighter eyebrows, we would not take number 7, which is dark brown, but number 6, which is brown, which is neutral and close to the warm undertone. Or we can shorter the exposure time. When you put the colored dye on the eyebrow, you can keep it for the shorter time, 5 to 7 minutes exposure time. Next question. As we know, cream dye could dry the skin. Never ever, never ever. It's totally opposite. It's moisturizing and hydrolyzation due to the vitamin E, hydrolyzed silk, and hydrolyzed keratin. So this is care procedure. So why to comb color during the coloration? So why to comb? Why do we use the brush to comb the color from the eyebrow? To avoid over darkening. That's exactly to avoid darkening. For example, if you have some concern that it could be too dark, let's say porous hair, then using brush, you can comb it out from the hair. How long does it take you to dye the eyebrows? That's the question. Well, when I work with a client, and this is not, let's say, not the broadcasts, not the conference, not the live session, not the marathons, or not the masterclass. So in my routine practice, normally it takes 30 minutes in my hands. But again, never try to save timing. Try to reach best possible quality of your outcome. Next question. What are your favorite mixes of the cream dye? Well, I do like to collaborate number 5, light brown, and number 6, brown. Then you get very good, very warm undertone, which is ideal for the blonde and dark blonde hair. So if it's a blonde or dark blonde girl, so I take 50-50, number 5 light brown and number 6 brown. So if my client is again ash blonde with the ash undertone, I prefer to take number 5 light brown and number 3 graphite, which has some violet base. So, and graphite would be about 20% ratio to number 5. So 20% of graphite and 80% of number 5, which is light brown, and then you will have it ash blonde. So all in all, I remind you that this cream ice could be used on its own. Number 5, 6, 7, and 4. Number 5, 6, 7, and 5. So these two base colors can be used in a pure form without mixing, each separately, with some unpleasant shadows on the skin. How to avoid the greenish undertone? So that's a good question, but mainly it refers to the gel dye. But with a cream dye, no green base, so no concern about it. But for example, if you with gel, then I recommend to add to the green base a little bit of red base. For example, it'll gel dye, it would be number 4.1, 4.1. So about 20% of 4.1, and then you will have less greenish. So we had another question about the mixes. Yeah, we just mentioned them before, so I think this question is covered, and I'm pretty sure that the specialists who asked this question already get it answered. Next question here. What aftercare, post-procedure care, could be recommended to the client? Well, I would recommend two types of care. First is moisturizing and then growing the hair. If we speak about the care, that's moisturizing. And here we use either molecular oil, shea, avocado oil, organo oil. There are great serums from Bronson. If we speak about the growing, then usma oil. What care products do you use routinely? Speaking about the care during the procedure, you should first understand that the cream dye is a care product by itself. But if somehow I need additional moisturizing, I would use either borax protein, which I showed before, or I use fixator lotion from Bronson. So, friends and colleagues, it looks like we covered all the questions we have received. First of all, I would like to thank you for your interest, for finding time to join us today, for your participation. Thank you very much for your interest, for very interesting questions. With that, we're happy to wrap up. Thank you very much for your attention, and we wish you a very good day and beautiful eyebrows with Bronson.